I just want to take a moment to shine a spotlight on a crisis unfolding before the world's very eyes. Terrorism, crushing poverty, desperate to escape places where life is uncertain. They're running. They're tired and hungry and weak. They're heading for Western Europe, sometimes without knowing where they're going at all. Many of them Syrians, called migrants and refugees, which brings me to the picture I am about to show you. This little boy.
In my country, we have 1.25 million in Lebanon, and our total population is 5 million. So 1 in 5 now is a Syrian, you can imagine. So 1,500 for a huge country like the US is literally nothing. There's 2 million in Turkey, refugees on the borders, but they built for them, camps and tents and stuff like that. So it's the willingness to accept, and has, many levels in that regard. You see images on YouTube and stuff like that, that when people are sort of rejected in the place and they try to go to other places. But, what is missing is the psychological aspect that these people are going through, that it's very painful, it's very dramatic. They've already suffered from huge losses, not only material losses, houses and stuff. Some people have actually lost family members, have lost their children. There was this big picture about this boy, the child who was 2 or 3 years old, who was actually seen on the coast. He died, and actually the water threw him on the coast because his family went by ship. So, the psychological effects of war are very dramatic. And over and above trying to escape with your life and not finding support, that's even, it escalates very much. I think it has very dramatic consequences on the people. The media has a critical role so far in the crisis, not only in the US, but also in the Middle East, because you have to think about the insurgents on the grounds and the rebellious groups who are fighting on the ground. So the media is definitely, aggravating their role and making it more and more fiery in a sense, because you have one camp or many different groups against another camp. And the war is not only on the ground, there is also the psychological war. That's the media is actually doing, So it's adding more fuel to the fire, I would say, to keep the war going. If you ask them, even if they come to a country which is more economically advantageous, financially and better, than Syria, if you ask them if the war stops, would you go back to Syria? They would all say yes right away. It's not that they fleeing Syria because Syria is a bad place. It is the conditions that they are placed in just makes it very hard to survive. They're fleeing for survival, not for, making a better condition out of their life. Like, I'm an immigrant here, but I wasn't forced to leave my home country, right? I got an education, I got a PhD, it was my choice. I want to have better chances in my life. So for me, it's a different story. But for them, it's about survival. It's not about, getting some economic advantage or even some, rights in a specific country. I know with Canada lately, Justin Trudeau, he's the only one that I know so far. I think he's very noble in what he's doing. He took 25,000 refugees from Syria, and he actually gave them the residency. So they automatically got green cards, but Canadian green cards. So I think that is different, because then you are taking the person and not just putting them in refugee camps or closing your doors against them. You're actually taking them wholeheartedly, like they become a citizen of your country. I would simply say, put yourself in their shoes. Simply, imagine yourself, you're living in this country, and all of a sudden you're struck by civil war, people coming from outside the country, entering here with weapons, with crazy ideas, and just fighting and bombing and killing. And you're running away with your life. That's what I would say. What would you do? How would you feel? So if we put ourselves in their shoes, even for a minute, we would not have that kind of even, rhetoric or that kind of discussion that you see on the media. Oh, we should bring them, we should not bring them. They're ISIS, they are extremists, they are. I mean, that's just taking it too far off of what the reality on the ground is. So I think if people can just go back to their humane, like just be, think humanely with their humanitarian, like just as a human. Imagine I'm a mother, I'm like a woman, I'm a child, I'm a father, and I'm just running away with my life and I'm just seeking some help. What would I do? I don't think that people should just stay passive or just take it as something that's related to, Islamophobia or whatever, because Syrians don't want to leave their country. It's the problem that they're going through, and the US is involved in that, and the US can solve that. That's what we need to, to find out, instead of bringing refugees, because nobody wants to be a refugee. No Syrian wants to be a refugee. I don't want to be a refugee. So they don't even want that. That's not what they want. They want a resolution in their country where they can actually live as dignified human beings.